Hi, my name is Tim Bradrick, and this is my code demonstration for my Milestone Week 2 for my capstone project. Um, as I said in my demonstration video, I was not as successful and was not able to complete all of the items laid out in the milestone. Um, so I will go into a little bit more depth on what the reasons were and so forth. Um, the main emphasis here for this week was to get the clothing functions working inside of the squirrel's home, and this is the scene that you see in the Unity screen right now. And the intent was to display the squirrel and be able to open up its wardrobe, which is this over here, this cardboard box, shoe box, and to select different articles of clothing. Let's see here. And then the second part was to have the squirrels um, show their clothing as they were running around in the adventure area. And I'll get that loaded. That's this area here, and do a quick demonstration of that. Um, well, I guess yeah, I can't show that on Unity here. Squirrel should have dropped, and that squirrel is no longer animated, where last week it was. But obviously I broke it. Um, let's see here. Um, well, I'm not quite sure where to get started here. Let's go back to the home screen, I guess. What I had done is in the previous screen, you created the character for the first time, and after clicking the confirm button, the intent was to go to this screen here, this area of the game here, and to have that squirrel displayed in here wearing the same clothing, but there would be some additional clothing in the wardrobe. And of course, as you play the game, you acquire more clothing or other objects, and that you can swap in and out. Now, part of what I attempted to do this week was to build some data structures so that it could display the clothing dynamically inside of the program. One of the things that I did create, uh, let's see here, um, a master object list. Let's see if I can swap over to that. This is just a class that I created, and I attached it to one of the objects in the very first screen. And right now, it is set up as a list, and it's a static list so that all the classes and scripts can access it. And then on the start, I load the initial items. And right now I have 8 items defined in my game, and these are the 8 items. There are some additional items available outside of the startup, where the part of the game where you create the first character. Um, One of the things that I'm noticing is this might be a challenge if there's going to be a lot of objects, because basically I have to create a sprite object, and then uh, using that sprite I can uh, use that as a piece of data that I can change within the program. And let's see here, going back to Unity, looking at where that is created. Um, Again, I attached it on the background, and we see all the here. We saw all the sprites that I have created for it to link up into the script. And then scrolling down, and that's basically what that is. I also created 2 additional generic definitions here. One is a game item. These are the objects in the game that are acquired or stored in the inventory throughout the game, and they have basically similar definitions here. And then there's also another one, the squirrel itself, and this is how the name and the values are saved, and the acorns and stuff, so forth, are allocated and so forth in the game. One of the variables that I do use in this week's milestone was the worn on blank sprites there, and I will show how that is being used in the other functions there. Now let's see here, what are some of the other things that I created. I mostly used the home screen, the squirrel's home, and this is the script for this. Let's see here, when it first starts, this is one part that I was able to be successful with. It goes and grabs the squirrel type variable from that squirrel player character, the PC squirrel data structure, and it determines which type of squirrel to display. So if the squirrel model is 1, it displays a gray squirrel, and it hovers some hands above the model for when it's wearing clothing. So let's see what that does. We'll go to the home screen again, and what we have here is there are multiple objects. The squirrel is displayed inside of the mirror, and there are additional objects created. The head covering, the body covering, and the foot covering, and then the squirrel and the extra arms. These are all objects, and then within each of these objects are scripts. So if we do the head covering, we have a script here, and it's a very simple script, and I will go into Mono Develop here and get that open. I'm dropping my icon here, and then get that open. So just as a very short example, this is where I use the worn on X item, and what is being covered by the squirrel in the home in the mirror, and each of the 3 scripts are this very short script here, and this is how it's accessing the that data structure definition for the player character. And then let's see here. Another thing that I attempted to do was to create the wardrobe, and had run out of time. Basically what I figured out is looked up some tutorials on dynamically generating buttons, and I think what I discovered is that the version of Unity that the tutorial creators were using was 4.6, and the version of Unity that I have is 4.5. So I'm going to need to make a decision on how to proceed from there, whether I want to take the risk in updating it or figure out a different way of presenting those buttons. If you saw in my demo, I did get a pair of glasses um, started from there. So the wardrobe functions. Basically, um, the wardrobe itself, the item, the picture right there has a let's see here, has a collision detector, and it detects it with the touch. Um, Trying to find my object. There's my object. There we go. And then we have the script and the wardrobe functions and so forth, and the polygon collider. Um, so when you are able to touch the wardrobe, that extra window pops up, and that's basically just a decorative way of blocking out the background so that it looks like the inside of a shoebox. And then the intent is to have the buttons presented in that shoebox. And again, I was trying to figure out a way to dynamically list it so that regardless of the number of items in the wardrobe, the number of buttons would display correctly. And I was not able to successfully get that presented. And basically, here's the one button that I was able to get there. And I just simply did that so that I would have something to present for what I have now. Let's see here. What else do we have here? The adventure area. Let's see here. That's number 12. Basically, in the process of trying to get the sprites to update correctly, to have the clothing on it and so forth. I didn't quite figure out why it got broken, but I was not able to update the animations and so forth. My player character is defined in a prefab so that we could call it within a function and have a second player also be in there. And my animator is the culprit, and what I was not able to get the sprites updated, but I will just go ahead and show those sprites. Let's see, you see all the all the objects in there, the pink hat, the different dress up items there. These are all sprite sheets, and multiple sprite sheets for the squirrels, trying different methods, and like the yellow lines that I had produced last week and trying to get rid of those and so forth. So I still need to get inside of the animator and figure out what's going on with the objects here. Let me get to my prefabs. See if I can get that displayed. Yeah, well, like I said, I had broken it, and I need to go back and fix it. So, and I just haven't had a chance to do that, like I said. So, got a little bit of extra work for me this coming week. Thank you.